This movie is about a character named Joker who is outcasted by the cruel society they live in, who gets their story told through symbolism and imagery of the human mind as they change the world through their actions. Wait a minute. Joker, DC's latest film about the clown king of crime himself. So when I heard that DC was making a Joker movie that isn't connected to the DCEU at all, completely standalone, R-rated, and focusing on a character study of one of the greatest villains of all time, I had no idea what to think of it. I mean, it sounds like a really cool idea, and very unique in terms of the superhero culture we live in today. But this is also a really big risk. Joker as a character is not supposed to have a defined backstory. It's supposed to be multiple choice. But hey, DC's been on a roll lately, so this could go either way. So, how did this ambitious little project turn out? Mwah! It's a masterpiece. Yep, this movie is good. Really, really good, DC, you've done it again. Let's get this out of the way right now. Joaquin Phoenix is absolutely brilliant. If he doesn't get nominated for an Oscar, nay, if he doesn't win an Oscar, we can officially call the Academy rigged, right? I mean, I personally think the Academy's rigged ever since Wreck-It Ralph lost, but that's just me. Everything about his performance is perfect, so natural, so nuanced, yet so over the top at the same time, it's perfect! This poor man practically disfigured himself for his role, researched mental illness to make sure every single thing is right. You can say there's method acting, and then there's Joaquin Phoenix. He's just on a whole nother level of actor right now. He's a Joker that can rival some of the greatest on-screen interpretations, from Mark Hamill to Heath Ledger. And going to the character, this version of Joker, Arthur Fleck, is probably one of, if not the most unique interpretation of the character to date. The Joker is many things, but we can never really see him as anything human, because he's absolutely crazy. He's gone down the rabbit hole. This time, we finally get to see the rabbit before he falls. Who is the man behind the makeup? What is the method beyond the madness? You actually feel for him, relate to him, sympathize with him in his tragedy. Well, not to the point that you'd see yourself become a murderous clown, but you get the idea. A movie isn't really good unless you have a protagonist that has some amount of relatability. You really wish that something good will just happen to the guy before it's too late, but you know it won't. That's always a great tactic in storytelling, where you know something is inevitable, but you still dread it and wish it just won't happen. And all of that is just added on thanks to fantastic cinematography. From fantastic lighting, eerie camera work, and so much symbolism than you can shake a stick at. This is a really gritty version of Gotham City that's just beat down and matches the messages that the movie wants to give you. And let's not forget the beautiful score that's as eerie as it is emotional. And the pacing is unlike any comic book movie you've seen in recent times. Scenes are slow, drawn out. It really takes its time to make sure that each and every single moment just sinks into you. Every aspect of not just Joker, but the world of Gotham City itself becomes a character because you spend so much time in it. And because you get to know so much about Gotham, you get to know so much about what the movie's truly trying to convey. This movie's been accused for being pro-violence, but I don't think that's what the movie's trying to do at all. If anything, it's a cautionary tale trying to get us to understand that we can stop something like the Joker from happening. It's a story about social and economic divides. It's a story of what happens when people at the top start neglecting the people at the bottom, especially the mentally ill, not getting them the help that they need. And while the movie takes place in the 1980s, it's still something that's relevant and topical in this day and age. In fact, that's why it being set in the 80s is so brilliant. It becomes timeless. It's almost like a really messed up version of the Lorax if you think about it. It's a warning sign about what the state of the world could be if we don't do anything about it. That's something very profound, and that makes me very grateful that this movie even exists. I love my bombastic action scenes, witty characters, and disposable CGI army like any millennial, but comic book is a medium. It's a medium where any creative mind can create whatever they want in whatever genre they want. It doesn't have to be non-stop action. It can be a drama, it can be a character study, it could be a romance. Marvel's been recently doing that, telling spy thrillers with Captain America the Winter Soldier, or intergalactic space adventures with Guardians of the Galaxy. And no doubt DC is the pioneer of doing such things too. And a movie like Joker is just what we need in order to prove this statement further. It's a movie in a world of superheroes where there's no superheroing at all. Not a lot of action, not a lot of really much that you'd expect. It's a lot of sitting down and talking. And that's brilliant. And all to deliver a bold political statement that life will change if we can just wake up, and get out there. Oh, this is This is actually just a Persona movie in disguise! Todd Phillips, you madman, I cracked the code!
It's not a game, I'm not a